The Haunted Violin. In a quiet, forgotten town, there stood an old music shop run by a mysterious man named Mr. Vasili. No one knew much about him. He had always been there, ageless, watching. Some said he was once a musician himself. Others whispered that he had outlived the town, guarding something no one should ever touch. The shop was filled with dusty instruments, from ancient pianos to cracked trumpets. But one item sat in eerie stillness at the back of the store. An ebony violin locked inside a glass case. Its surface was polished, but oddly dark, as if it absorbed the light instead of reflecting it. The strings never collected dust, though no one had ever seen them replaced, and the bow resting beside it seemed to twitch at the edge of one's vision, as if waiting to be picked up. Rumors surrounded the violin. Some said it was cursed. Others believed it had belonged to a famous violinist who played one final piece and then vanished, leaving only the violin behind. Mr. Vasili would only say, "The violin is not for sale, nor is it to be played." One day, a young musician named Eloise wandered into the shop. Eloise was talented, but struggling, her passion for music overshadowed by constant rejection. She had skill but no audience, talent but no fortune. When she saw the violin, a chill ran down her spine, but her heart beat faster. She felt a pull towards the violin, a sudden rush of warmth and adrenaline, as if it was calling to her, whispering melodies only she could hear. "Why can't it be played?" she asked. Mr. Vasili studied her for a long time. Finally he murmured, "Because it takes as much as it gives. Those who play it always pay a price." Eloise barely heard him. She was already picturing herself on stage, the world in awe of her music. She took a shaky breath, a strange pressure settling over her, as if something unseen was pulling her forward. Though silent, it felt as if it was speaking to her, its unseen melody pressing against her skin. She knew she should turn away, that something wasn't right, but her feet remained planted. It had her now. That night, she made her choice. She broke in and smashed the glass case. The moment her fingers touched the violin's neck, it felt alive. A warmth spread through her hands, and the strings gave off a soft hum. Like a creature waking from slumber, she played a single note. The sound was unlike anything she had ever heard, a perfect haunting resonance that seemed to echo from another world. The next day, Eloise performed at the town square. People stopped in their tracks. The music gripped them, held them captive. Some swayed as if in a trance. Their eyes glazed, their lips parted in awe. Word spread quickly, whispers of a violinist whose melodies were unlike anything ever heard before. Crowds grew larger, eager to witness the magic in her music. Encouraged by the attention, Eloise played day and night, unable to stop, each performance drawing her deeper into the violin's embrace. The more she played, the more people listened, and the more she felt the instrument tightening its hold on her. Word of her talent spread like wildfire. Soon she was playing in grand concert halls, her name whispered with reverence. Every performance ended in thunderous applause, flowers thrown at her feet, people crying from the sheer beauty of her music. But the violin never let her rest. At night, Eloise would hear it, a whisper curling through the darkness. "Play, you must play, be the best." And so, Eloise agreed. She must be the best. She had to be. The violin called to her, and she obeyed. Each time she played, she felt her strength drain, as though the violin was pulling the very essence from her soul. It was more than an instrument. It was a force that refused to be ignored. But Eloise didn't want to stop. The applause, the money, the luxury. It wasn't enough. She wanted more. Even as exhaustion consumed her, she pushed on, until finally, her body began to fail. Weak, trembling, she locked the violin away. But the violin would not stay locked. It hovered toward her, waiting, feeding. Even in sleep, it haunted her. In her dreams, she stood on a grand stage, but the audience was silent, watching, waiting. The whisper returned, soft yet suffocating. Not enough again. She would wake, gasping for air, only to find the violin at the edge of her bed, waiting, demanding. And so, she continued to play. One night, after a lavish performance, an old friend, a violinist from her struggling days, pulled her aside. "Eloise, are you okay? You don't look well. I think you need to stop." Eloise laughed. "Stop? Are you joking? I've only just begun." Her friend hesitated. "There's something unnatural about your playing. It doesn't feel like it's coming from you anymore, and you look like you haven't slept in days." Eloise's smile faltered. She said to herself that the girl was just jealous and wanted her fame. At night, when she played alone, the violin's notes no longer followed her lead. They twisted into melodies she had not chosen, strange, sorrowful tunes that made her skin prickle. Sometimes the violin would play a note before her fingers even moved. Eloise ignored it all because she wanted more concerts, more luxury, more adoration. One night, in the middle of a performance, the violin played by itself. Eloise's fingers weren't moving, but the bow glided across the strings, producing a melody that chilled her to the core. She tried to stop, but her hands weren't hers anymore. She played faster, her body convulsing as the haunting melody grew louder, faster, desperate. But the violin was leading now, and she was just the vessel. Then she saw it. It was her. In the grand concert hall, among the thousands of mesmerized faces, one stood out. At the back of the room, a hollow-eyed figure stood in the shadows, watching her. A skeletal version of herself clutching the violin, grinning with empty eyes. The reflection whispered, "The violin takes as much as it gives." Eloise gasped. Suddenly, Mr. Vasili's words returned to her. The warning she had ignored, the signs she had buried beneath ambition. The bow trembled in her hands. Her breath caught, and for the first time in years, the music stopped. Silence fell across the hall. Thousands stared, puzzled. But Eloise saw only one thing, herself, hollow and fading. She turned and walked off the stage. No bow, no applause, only quiet steps. She returned the violin and everything it had taken. She disappeared from the spotlight. No farewell, no headlines, only space to breathe and begin again. One night, she sat alone beneath the sky, far from the crowds and the stage lights. The quiet no longer felt heavy. For the first time, it brought her peace. And then, almost like letting go of a weight she'd carried too long, she thought to herself, "If success costs me my peace, it's just not worth it." She smiled, and this time it felt real. Just as the Bhagavad Gita teaches, "Shanti ke bina safalta ka koi arth nahi." Without inner peace, success has no meaning. Bhagavad Gita chapter 2, verse 66. In the end, the real battle wasn't with the violin. It was the one within Eloise's mind, a battle between chasing success and finding peace, between ego and truth. Like the Bhagavad Gita teaches, true wisdom is knowing when to let go, so you can find yourself again. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed our stories, please give this video a like and subscribe to ASA Hindu Wisdom for more heartfelt tales inspired by the Bhagavad Gita.